a break, okay. And now it's back to work. God made a way, that's the only way it works. I won't walk this way till they put me in the dirt. May your kingdom come as in heaven on this earth to me. Just now it occurred to me, hell gon' burn like third degree. If you know your hurts to me, Jesus paid that purse for me, and he took that curse from me. If you think that's perjury, boy, you better learn to read. Hey, me and my baby girl in on the court, call that double dutch. I've been walking with the Lord, can't be doing such and such. Wait, I took a minute, but now I'm back in it. If God isn't with it, I don't want to visit. I went independent instead of repenting. They could have done.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Off the Bench podcast. I'm Daniel Ball, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. And Jim, tonight we've got Colby Allen. You saw him at the end of the intro right there, doing his thing, winning games, shutting it down, closing the door. We're going to get his story, but first, we got to plug the best sponsors in the game. Old Dominick Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or to pick up your favorite bottle. Chinook Ceadery. Whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go to your local grocery store, convenience store, gas station, and pick up the best seeds in the game. And finally, Jesus One Apparel, empowering men, women, and children to take a bold step in their faith by living and embodying the message of John 16:33. Jesus won, and he continues to win each and every day, Jim. And with that, we got to talk, man. We got to bring on Colby Allen of Southern Miss Baseball. Colby, what up, brother? How we doing tonight?
Doing good, guys. How are y'all?
Man, we are blessed. I mean, like we said, it's been 2 years. I feel like I don't even know what the right field roost is anymore. Is it still the best place to go in the outfield and anywhere in Mississippi?
Oh man, it's awesome. They're blaring music before the game while we're taking in and out, and man, they're giving everybody heck down that right field line in that bullpen. So it's pretty scary.
I'll tell you, Daniel, especially them coming off playing Ole Miss, they talk about their outfield all the time at Swayze and how they try to argue with Mississippi State, and obviously Mississippi State has the best setup. But the problem for Ole Miss is they're not better than Southern Miss in the outfield, and so they need to worry about that matchup before they start talking about Mississippi State.
I agree. Their right field is not comparable to anything like the roost that we have, or even really with Mississippi State. It's not. They don't have nothing but people out there drinking beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably lead the college baseball in the most beer wasted.
That's very true. That is very true.
That's why we got a Chinook seed shower that we're going to give them. We're going to give them seeds and maybe help save some beer for a night. If they hit them, they'll be going. The night we're doing it on purpose is against Liam Doyle, who left them for Tennessee. So right now he's not been a guy who's going to give up home runs. So we'll see how that goes. But
I'm telling you, Jim, if folks are smart, when y'all do this, these seeds are so good now. I'd be down there with a bucket, just y'all throw them in the air, I'll catch them.
Well, that was my thought. Look, we talk about when you mix seeds up and get the different flavors. If everybody's throwing different seeds and then you just pick them up, handful off the ground, you never know what kind of combo you might get. It might change your life.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
But I got to ask you before we get into your story, man. March Madness starts tomorrow. For me and Daniel, we cover gymnastics, the SEC championship Saturday. Like this weekend, I know that football's king, but when you look at college baseball, right into the heart of the SEC, grind is starting with week 2. And then we have the gymnastics. Then you have March Madness. Like, do you get a chance? I know the gymnastics side may not be you for basketball, like the madness that goes on, but you're playing baseball. Do y'all get a chance to really watch any games?
We do. It times up really good when we go on road trips. We'll turn it on and watch every game on the road trip, and then we'll turn it on. We'll have a lot of us in hotel rooms, watching it, or we'll have little parties over here at the house when we're at home. It's pretty awesome to watch that stuff. Every game's really competitive.
I got to know, who are you rooting for? And are you one of those guys that, you want to see the best teams at the end, or do you want to see a Cinderella in there?
I like kind of both, but man, I really like Duke. That Cooper Flag guy, he's unreal. When he's healthy, if he can get healthy, he's good grief, man, it's nuts.
Well, we're Memphis basketball fans, and there's no team I dislike more in any sport. As a matter of fact, I just left Knoxville to root for Tennessee against Florida, hate Florida and everything. And we have an opportunity, if it plays right, to play them in the Sweet 16. And I got to ask, because Memphis, isn't going to win a national championship. Let's call it this. So they're like, what do you want to happen? I said, just beat Florida in the Sweet 16, make an Elite Eight, and that'll be a championship for me.
How dare you? If they make it that far and they beat Florida, like there's not a doubt in my mind that they can't win a championship.
We watched them play Auburn this year, and they lost by 35.
But
Stop.
at that point, I thought Auburn was like an NBA team because they played like it. I thought they were world beaters, and then come to find out as the season progresses, teams can beat them. They are beatable. But
the one thing that's different from playing baseball like Colby does, you only have to beat them one time. You don't have to beat them in a series. That's what makes baseball the best is usually going to win because you're not going to beat a team twice and have that kind of luck.
It's hard to do that. It's very hard to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Colby, let's get into it, man. You are from Louisville, but not the Louisville that you would think. Louisville, Mississippi.
We pronounce it Louisville down here. It's kind of different. Everybody thinks it's Louisville, but it's Louisville.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything different from Mississippi. Just trying to do things to like just trying to be different. I mean, Jim has come on record and said Mississippi might be one of the worst states.
Oh, it's second worst, but Arkansas's got us, bro.
Arkansas is definitely the worst, but like that's a way to like get some credibility out there.
Yeah,
but I live in the fastest growing state in Mississippi, so I'm in the right area.
I kid, Colby. It's you don't know what you don't know, and it's Louisville. And hey, what is the claim to fame? If I went there, what would I need to do? Experience.
Well, there's not much to do in Louisville, but there's one good breakfast joint in Louisville called Mary Lou's Biscuit Bar.
Ooh, I mean that just sounds good.
Yeah,
Mary,
you gave me the spot I need.
It's unreal. I mean, it is. You go in there, you're gonna get full and want to come back for more. I mean,
you could have just said it's called Mary Lou's Diner, and I've been like, it's gonna be fun.
But I like biscuits, so I'm with it. Like
anything you want, it's there.
Well, when you're at Mary Lou's, who are you with? Are you with mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
It's usually a couple buddies right before we go hunting. I'm a big hunter. We do a lot of rabbit hunting, a lot of deer hunting, so it's usually all early in the morning, so we get there probably about 5:36, get us a good biscuit, and head out to the woods.
I mean, that seems like during hunting season, that place is full of hunters. Like in the morning, goodness. Like it's they're stopping off, they're getting the Mary Lou special, they're getting their little coffee topped off, and they're ready to roll.
It's a 20-minute wait probably most mornings.
Oh man, there.
Yeah, it's always packed. There's never a morning it's not.
I mean, if you don't eat the biscuit, then you got to eat the squirrel. You know what I mean?
You got to eat something.
Definitely. So
I've never been squirrel hunting, man. Is it like intense?
It is. You get a little young puppy out there that's just getting going. They start barking up that tree for the first time, and it's pretty intense. It's pretty awesome to see.
Daniel, I could get down with that. I've told people I can't go duck hunting, man. I think it's such a pretty bird. I just feel bad. Turkeys are ugly. I'll bust one all day.
Yeah, busting some turkeys are pretty fun too. My roommate actually went turkey hunting this morning. I think he went turkey hunting this afternoon, but hadn't seen a bird yet. So
I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Tough.
You got to be good, and you got to be quiet. And them turkeys, believe it or not, are smarter than you think.
I just don't have the patience for it. I'm really good at fishing, and usually I don't have many bad days. So just keep me fishing. I can't sit out there for a long time, and my dog's too stupid to go hunting. So,
Colby, tell me about Todd and Janet. You are the apple of their eye. Are there any other brothers or sisters?
I got two older brothers. I got one that is my oldest is a pharmacist in Jackson, and then my middle brother is a forestry commissioner back home in Louisville. Kind of works all around the state.
I mean, what you're majoring in exercise science? Like, what are you gonna do? What's the plan?
I was planning on being a physical therapist coming out of school. And now I've got deep into my major. I've been studying for a exercise physiologist test earlier today, and it's I don't think I want to do that stuff. That stuff's pretty hard. But no, I'm not sure yet. I'm probably going to switch it back to medical sales, something in that nature. Maybe go into some forestry sales, stuff like that. Kind of like being outside and moving around a little bit.
Let me tell you something. Anything hard is
It's
worth it.
Exactly.
Anything hard. If
I
it's
think he's gonna be a
easy,
pro baseball player. Hear me when I say it.
That's
hey,
the plan. That's the first one.
That's priority number one. But it's always good to have a fallback. But obviously, being the youngest, you get away with everything.
I do. Well, sometimes I kind of got bullied by my middle brother, but I try to get away with anything I can. I do.
I just want to know who's the best athlete of the three.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. Absolutely. Not even close. My middle brother, he's pretty athletic. He was probably.
Would you say that to their face?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Just making sure.
My oldest brother, we call him the nerd of the family. You know, he's out of the equation, and then it's just me and my middle one. And we'll fuss till this day. If he didn't tear his labrum in football in high school, he would have been doing all this jump.
Oh, Daniel, one of those. It's all
Uncle Rico, I could throw this ball over the mountains, bro.
That's exactly right. I'll give it to him. He's 88, 90 in 10th grade year in high school. He messed up his shoulder, but is what it is.
Playing football?
He did. Playing football.
What's he doing playing football? Throwing 88? I mean, come on.
Coaches around here won't let you play. If you're a baseball player, you won't be playing football.
Yeah, it's tough on his part, but
yeah, it's all good, man. You love what you love. I mean, if you got a chance to play and you're blessed with some talents and some gifts, you might as well take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
For you, when you're growing up and you're into sports and athletics, who's your favorite athlete as a kid?
Oh, Chipper Jones was a big one for me coming up through. He was Atlanta kid. Went to a couple games and watched. It was pretty special to watch him play. You know, he played the game the right way. Good guy, likes to hunt. So,
hey, the third baseman that's there now is doing it the right way and loves to hunt and is 2-time guest of the show. Austin, it was so funny when people were talking about him, possibly leaving Atlanta. I told people, Colby, it would never happen. And the reason why he took such low money, he's got literally 2 spots that he hunts that are only an hour and a half drive from there. Atlanta, you go to LA, you go to New York, you can't do that.
That's exactly right. I hit with Austin. Me and a buddy of mine, we hit with him. I think it was his senior year of high school or maybe the summer he got drafted. We hit with him up there at Mississippi State. So it's a pretty cool story about that one too.
Yeah, he like you said about Chipper, though. I don't know what it is about them third basemen in Atlanta, but they do it the right way.
That's exactly right. They do, man.
They're lucky in the sense when it comes to the corner infielders. But for you, we do some research, all right? Through social media, there's some pictures of you with the gear on behind the dish. Like, what's going on, man? When did the transition happen? Like, how do you just go, you know what, I'm done catching. Just put me on the bump, coach. I'm ready for that.
So growing up, I didn't really catch much. Coming up through my younger years, got to 7th, 8th grade, started catching a little bit, still pitching a lot. I got to 9th grade high school, broke my growth plater off. I mean, I got a big screw in there, right arm, throwing. That kind of shut pitching down, coming back. I mean, I didn't pitch for 2-3 years the rest of my high school career. Just caught, played the infield. I think I threw maybe 14 innings senior year in high school. Up around 90, always been able to throw strikes. And going to a JUCO, Northwest Community College, up here in Senatobia, Mississippi, to catch and maybe pitch a little bit once I got here, just figured out. And love catching. I do catching drills with our catcher, Lawson Odom, all the time. I mean, 4 games, we're sitting here doing pick drills and all kinds of stuff. But come to a camp the summer before my freshman year of college down here at Southern Miss. I think I was sitting maybe 90, 92, kind of dotting up fastballs where I wanted to, curveball, change up. Pretty much got offered right there and took it. Always, Dad graduated from Southern Miss. So as soon as I got offered that, I took it and ran with it.
Jim, I've never been that good at anything where I could just stop doing it and then all of a sudden do it again. And then somebody's like, you know what? Just come here and play. We're pretty good, actually. Just come over here and help us out. So let me get this right. So you commit to Northwest Community College first.
Right.
And then you get seen on the bump by Southern Miss and you're like, yeah, I'll go there instead, which is the right move. But
right move, yeah. Poor Northwest, man.
Nuts.
Did you go? Did you go to Tunica? Why after that happened? Did you play the lottery? Did you do something? Because I mean, it seems like the odds are like in your favor when
Wild.
something like that happens.
I think they were planning on losing. I think Coach Oz said they were planning on losing 2 or 3 guys to the draft that year, pitching wise. And I think we ended up losing like 5 or 6. And sure enough, as soon as the draft happened, they left, and that camp came up. Went to that camp, and there it was, just fell right into our lap.
So what was the prep? Was there any pitching prep prior to this camp, or you just was like, I feel pretty good. Let me get up here and test it out.
I think I threw about 2 bullpens beforehand. I was playing in a summer league, catching the majority of it, throwing it a little bit. It's just a pickup summer league here in Mississippi just to get some ABs before heading off to Northwest. And I think I threw 15 innings total that summer around there. And they came and watched me. After that camp, they came and watched me pitch one more time before truly offering, and had another good day on the bump, and there it was.
I mean, so outside of them just offering it, did you ever go to the campus? Have you ever been there? Did you meet some of the players? Did you go do the whole tour and all that?
Dad went there. He's in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, Dad went here. I mean, I grew up coming to football games, baseball games. I knew – crazy thing. This is another crazy deal. We had season tickets right beside the dugout club president at football games. So I knew – his name's Rick Maddox. So I knew Mr. Rick, still the president now of the dugout club here. Crazy. I knew Rick the whole time, but it's just kind of nuts how that all spiraled in.
See, Jim, when he wasn't going to Southern Miss, that was Mr. Maddox. But now that he signed, it's Rick. Just Rick.
That's about right.
Well, I love doing the research. You know, right off the rip, the best part about watching you last night was when I looked, your first start ever in 2023 was against Ole Miss, and it was your only loss as a freshman. You know, and last year you had the save as well. So how good does it feel, you know, to avenge your first loss? You got back-to-back saves against Ole Miss.
Man, it felt really good. It felt really good last year, you know. Came in there freshman year, kind of got ambushed. I had a flat fastball freshman year. Just kind of filled up the zone and got some opportunities. But it felt good coming back last year and kind of shutting the door at home. And then especially last night coming in that bases loaded jam and shutting the door.
Yeah, and I was talking to you before the show. I remember back in 2021 having Landon Sims on. And there's just – I mean, I don't have a closer's mentality like you guys. But coming in with bases loaded, nobody out, and he said he lives for that moment. Like, do you feel that same way? Is there any extra pressure coming at that moment, or is it always business?
It's always business, but there's always that adrenaline rush coming to you. I came in there last night, Coach Oz, first word for stay in your legs. I know that adrenaline's pumping. He said nobody's going to be stealing on you, so make sure to stay in those legs. But, man, I love it.
Yeah, no, I wish we would have. You seen the footage I got? Somebody was not doing their job. We ain't got no good footage of the strikeout last night like the way we'd normally do it. Somebody needs, especially when you got a Mississippi rivalry like that. But
oh, yeah.
So I couldn't see just how, you know, usually they zoom in and we could see, you know, nobody does it better than closers after the strikeout. But
it's the midweek crew.
But let's go back to last year, man. I actually got to see you pitch in person in Knoxville against Indiana. You went 7 innings, giving up just 1 run, 8 Ks. What's it like getting that start on the road in the postseason, you know, in a must-win situation?
Man, it was awesome. You always kind of, as a little kid, you always kind of dream of something like that, you know. And I started all fall and spring inter squads here leading up to the season last year. And I was kind of like an extended reliever closer type deal pretty much the whole year. So we knew pitch count wasn't really going to be an issue, just kind of go out there and throw as much as I could, even though, I mean, it's win or lose. So obviously just go out there and do what you can. But, man, it was awesome, especially against a good Indiana team like that. They could swing the bat really well last year. Yeah, no,
it was a great regional to go to between you guys, Indiana and Tennessee. You know, and, you know, you got to see and play against the team that would win it all, obviously, you know, just loaded with talent and, you know, just a lot of fans there. So I thought it was a great experience for you. Obviously, it's not like playing at home, but when you go out of town, you'd like to be a great atmosphere. And your team's definitely traveled. I could definitely do without the throw it in the dirt guy, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That
Daniel,
guy.
Daniel, man, he's worse than the Whistler. I stand by it, man. I'm just
Bro,
telling you.
and I don't hate me when I say this now. I haven't been to a single Southern Miss game, but I won't go for that simple fact because I've watched you guys on streams, and much like the Whistler, that's all you hear is this guy. I don't even know where he's at. He could be in the left field parking lot for all I know, but that's all you hear.
Yep. See, we love it. You know, I'd hate it too if I was coming in opposing team or something like that. But it's awesome.
What I've learned everywhere I go, everyone has their thing, right? And not even just the stuff that's there to annoy. Like, you know, I went to Alabama. We were covering gymnastics meet against LSU, and you know they're playing "Sweet Home Alabama" and all these other songs, and there's 10,000 people there in the arena, just you know singing and going wild. And my son looks at me and goes, "These people are weird." And I was like, you know, when we do stuff at LSU, they feel the same way about us. I was like, you know what? I love the passion. 10,000 people all in, you know, everybody has their thing. So you got to love it. Southern Miss, we talk about the Roost, you know, y'all got all these different things. Y'all put, you know, opposing teams under bleachers during regional. I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's good.
We had Chase Dolander on talking about that. He said, how do you care? You know, and so, but you know, this year you're 3-1, 2.05 ERA, 5 saves. You know, Daniel, first of all, I'm going to stop right there and look at you, Daniel. How often you got a guy with a 3-1 record, 5 saves this early in the season? That's a hell of a stat line.
Well, here's the thing. When you have a stat line like that, that tells me one thing. You're the guy. You're the most dependable. You're the go-to guy. You're the guy that you put on the bump when you need to win a game. Leading, you're the guy that can come in when you need an out. You're the guy that can.
He's so good that he froze your camera. That's how good he is. But you know, moving on since he froze. Team is 15-6, ranked, you know, 19. You know, how are you feeling? You know, I know you got to be feeling good, you know, about yourself. Like I said, the stats don't lie, but the team looks really good. It's the team that came in the season, you know, unranked. A lot of times, me and Daniel talk about it. It's a guessing game with some of the teams. You know, we talked about it. You guys, DBU, Coastal Carolina. We know a couple of the teams will step up and be able to play with the big boys, and it seems to be you guys. So, how are y'all feeling as a team right now?
We're feeling pretty good. We're pitching it really well. The hitting's there. Really, the hitting has been unbelievable this year. And if you look at the numbers in the games, we're winning low-scoring games, you know, but we got 15 hits. It's kind of crazy. But once our hitters come around and we start knocking some guys in that's out there on the pond, it's going to be unreal. And I'm kind of glad we're going through that stretch now instead of going through that stretch a month from now, you know.
Yeah. But, me and Daniel were having this discussion, and I was looking at y'all's schedule, and there's definitely nobody that y'all should have problems with. And we were talking about the importance of midweek games for teams like yours, and y'all do have Alabama at Alabama. So that game, you know, to a lot of teams, midweeks don't mean the most. Y'all just took care of Ole Miss. If you can take care of Alabama, when y'all go to present a reason to host a regional, those will be wins that matter. So obviously you got to take care of your series every weekend in conference, but I think that's the one that I'm really looking forward to because I think y'all absolutely have what it takes to walk in Alabama and win. And if y'all can do that and stack that to the resume of Ole Miss, I think sky's the limit for your team. I mean, like you said, right now, everything just looks good. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you about before I cut you loose, the Camp Shelby uniforms. You know, I'm retired military. Dude, those things are sweet. I get a lot of people say they're basic, but man, first y'all have one of the most elite camo hats, but you know, it's supposed to be kind of basic and it's supposed to just send a message. So like, and then y'all's photo shoot, right? Like
awesome, man.
So just how much fun was it doing those pictures and this, how much pride does it give y'all wearing those uniforms?
It was awesome. So the kind of how it happened is Camp Shelby's like 30 minutes from Hattiesburg. So they kind of just got a couple of us, went down to Camp Shelby and gave us a tour, kind of talked about everything, let us climb on some tanks and stuff. But it was awesome getting to see the memorabilia of the jerseys and kind of we got to hold some weapons and stuff like that they actually used back in the day.
I mean, it's our 5th year doing this. I've never seen a college baseball team do the photos with the tank on the tanks. Like, I mean, that's elite.
Gosh, it was awesome. I mean, you felt like you were on top of the world. We had our shortstop. He's a nutcase. He's hopping on top of the big, I don't even know. Like, I guess the big rifles coming out of the tanks acting like it's a surfboard. And it was just awesome. It was an awesome experience
That's
for
gunner
us.
in the turn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
It was awesome.
that's pretty legit. So let's get into this. Obviously, when you go into a game, knowing that there are different opportunities that you're going to have to go into a game. There could be a starter role, a reliever role, early reliever, late reliever, closer, setup guy. There's different opportunities for you. And being the guy that we talked about is the most dependable, that you put in there for whatever situation you need to get outs or one out or whatever the case might be. What is the preparation like? Like, what's going on in the mind? How do you shift it from each time you're going in to certain situations? Because as a starter, it can be a little bit more relaxing because you're thinking more of a long-term game. But as a reliever, early, short, or a closer, like, the mentality is different, especially if you're going in with people on base and there's pressure in that situation that you're going in. So how do you shift the mind to get it right for those situations?
So I'm kind of a different guy. I'll kind of get real locked in right before BP and kind of do my own thing. And then once BP's over with, I'll kind of reshift that focus and kind of let loose a little bit, try to relax, and we get back in the dugout. And then we do like IO and all that stuff. I throw right after IO. So as soon as IO is done, I kind of shut down mode. And I kind of refocus, work on throwing, make sure everything's feeling good. Then I reopen it, and I'm kind of loose in the dugout. And about that third, fourth inning, I grab a granola bar and I just head down the bullpen. And I know usually about that fifth to sixth inning, there's going to be a good chance that I'm coming in those fifth or sixth innings. And usually it's about that seventh inning I'll be coming in usually.
Now, do your teammates know this routine and they go, "Oh, he's got his granola bar. Y'all leave him alone. Like, he's in the zone."
That's kind of how it is. I gave my assistant strength coach last night had it, and they kind of know as soon as I get that granola bar and I head down there, just back up. Don't talk to me. But
I mean, if you don't have an NIL deal through granola bars, they're missing out on life.
I'm telling you, I don't even know what your granola bar choice is, but if I had one, I'd sign you for it. Come on, man.
It's really just whatever's in that snack box that day. Honestly.
I mean, the stats that are coming off of it, I need to apparently start eating them. Maybe I'll start being more productive.
So rewind then a little bit for me, because obviously not everybody can make the transition that you did from catching to pitching and then going from a junior college commit to a D1 commit, and you weren't for a pitcher from a guy that really wasn't pitching a whole lot. When you had the growth plate issue, now were you full blown like, I'm not going to pitch again, I'm just going to catch? Or in your mind, did you go, at some point I might try this again? Like, what is the mind thinking when that happens?
It was really kind of scary, especially because I was young and I've never done anything like this, had any injury like that at all. So it's kind of scary. I kind of just attacked it of how I was going to feel once I started back throwing again, whether it was just I'm going to have to play infield, may not even get to catch again, especially not even pitch, But my arm, thank goodness, healed back 100%, was able to get back to throwing that thing as hard as I could.
Now, what were the doctors saying? Were they confident that you would be able to do whatever it is that you wanted to do? Or were they a little bit skeptical about what the capabilities would be, even once you were at 100%?
They were a little skeptical at first because I was so young, that a screw going into an elbow like that and then the bone having to form around it and all that stuff. It's kind of scary, especially I think I was ninth grade. I was probably 13, 14 years old. My growth plate was still wide open. That's kind of why it popped off. So everything was still growing in my body. So it was kind of scary little moment there for a little bit, trying to get back into everything.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I just had my surgery, and it's like that's hard to see on the camera. It's like 6 inches across.
Yeah.
Had my pectoral tore off, and anyway, people have asked me about working out, and Daniel, I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I'm gonna go to touch any weights and push it up, I'm gonna be scared to death.
It's a little skeptical coming back to it. It is.
You got to trust the process, trust the recovery, trust the doctors, trust your PT people, and put a little bit of faith in God. And when that happens, I mean, you'll be surprised. You might be on the bump throwing mid-90s. I mean,
it's funny you said that. My nephew asked how long until I was going to be ready to play football again. I was like, I don't know, but I'll still throw a football better than you. And he's like, all right, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is I'm almost in the belief that because of the way this story has unfolded, that there's just metal and wires in his arm. It's just a rope. It's a robot.
Honestly, none of us know. We just kind of went through surgery and went along with it. So none of us know.
Medical advances. It's just crazy to me. Things that are happening to you guys, man, y'all bounce back from better than ever. If that happened when Daniel was pitching y'all's age, he was done.
It would look like a foot-long scar from like mid forearm all the way under, to your tricep, and it would have been the only way they've done surgery, and you would have been toast for the rest of your career. It would have been, basically a death sentence.
So all these guys, you're blessed that you were born in the era that you were.
I mean, technology, baby.
Right. It's technology is nuts.
I mean, and let's not skip over the fact there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. I don't want to discredit you for what you put into it, because it does, even just training your mind to believe like I can do this again is even something that is tough for people to overcome.
Yeah, so. I forgot who came on here and actually said, somebody who I feel like is in the league now and everything. That first time they came back after Tommy John, they said the first time it wasn't the bullpen session, but they said when they first actually got on the mound in the game, that first time to cut it loose, they were scared to death. They had to do it that first time.
Absolutely. We got he's I guess you can call him a super senior. I think it's his fifth year here, sixth year, something like that. Same thing, Tommy John. Then he had a little struggle with it this year. And now he came back from it, and he was scared to let it rip. And I think it was last night he finally let it rip again. It felt fine, but it's just a big mental barrier you got to climb over.
Well, thankfully you're there, man. You're crushing. You're having a good season. But before we go, we got to play a game called This or That. You down to play?
Absolutely.
All right. It's very simple. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. You got to go with your gut. Go with your head. Go with your heart. Just pick one, man.
Sounds good.
All right, Jim. This or that. Who's it brought to you by?
Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game, less salt, no sandpaper tongue. Daniel, dropped the box off at Lewisburg last night, the number 1 ranked team in the state of Mississippi. Obviously, you saw the video. Talon Haley, 5 1/3, 15 Ks, no hits, no walks. He was out there doing on the barbecue. I mean, I know he's talented, but I think, the Chinook Seeds maybe gave a little extra kick. I'm just saying.
Oh, they definitely did. I mean, I clocked him at 92 before Chinook Seeds, and now we're getting him at 96, 98. Come on.
I think I need me some Chinook Seeds after that.
I think you do too. Smokehouse barbecue.
As a matter of fact, we don't have a Southern Miss ambassador, so I'll message you after this. We'll get them down there ASAP. But no, they are so good. Like Daniel always says, I think the best thing about them is with the 8 flavors, there's something for everybody. Like Daniel says, we don't like dill pickle, but there's something else. And some guys, Ty Floyd, from LSU, he loves this. Everybody has their thing. I'm a cinnamon toast guy. He's a barbecue guy. That's why he actually came up with the combination. Put them together, smoke and toast, good to go.
Wow.
That's some parm and pepper today.
Did you?
I like that now. Yeah, that's pretty good there.
It's so good because I'll go like in these spurts. I'll get in this kick and I'll have one flavor for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'll force myself to change off of it, and I'm so happy that I do. I'm like, oh man, this is.
Do you want to know the biggest miss ever, Colby? So Parmesan pepper was Skeen's favorite flavor. And I had set him up, and, we start calling it Parmesan Paul. And I told the guys at Chinook, I was like, he wants his face on the bag. And they were like, well, his agent, he wants too much, this and that. And this was before he was drafted. This is early. Anyway, you look at where he's net out and the price you would at least got him at then versus now. There's no face you would rather have from a pitching standpoint. They should have ponied up then. It would have been worth it.
I mean, that's the going out of business sale bargain that you're getting for old Paul before he gets out of school. I mean, he hadn't even won a national championship yet.
But that was
as low as it was ever getting.
That was one of the best pictures they could have had. They put the video in or they zoomed in on the video during the regionals, and it showed over, and it was him and Cruz. And anyway, Cruz didn't have any in his hand, but Paul did, and he was sitting there doing them. And so then they put a caption under it, basically showing that he was telling Dylan their best seeds in the game. Like, how awesome for them.
Yeah, that's sick. That's awesome.
Let's hop into this game while we're on the sunflower seed train. I gotta ask, all right, are you a seeds guy or a gum guy?
I'm a big seeds guy, huge seeds guy.
Well, you're gonna be an even bigger seeds guy here soon because Chinook's coming your way, brother. All the flavors, and you can tell us which one you like the best. So
next, I'll just be up front and forward when we get off this thing. Send me your number, and I'll get it right to Chinook, and then we'll have it done by the morning. We get to set up one player from every team, and then, like he says, they get all the boxes of goodies. The whole idea is you're supposed to share it with your teammates. Some guys do. Sometimes that's the worst when we'll have somebody's teammate on. We'll have somebody's teammate on like, I didn't get any. Bro.
Yeah.
What I think would be crazy is if you got just a unmarked bucket and it was all the flavors that we grabbed from the shower.
Oh, I don't know.
Big old bucket of random flavors.
I have a feeling because I've put so much investment into this, they're not going to hit one, and I'm going to be so sad. I mean, it's already rough because I'm picking the pitcher, but it's because they have such disdain because he left them that I had to pick him, and in hopes that Luke Hill, who is the ambassador for Ole Miss, is the one, and he's having a good season. But I don't know. We'll see. It's against his old boy, so it's going to be fun.
We just need to find out what his price is to serve one up.
Look, let me tell you guys the funniest comment. So, an Ole Miss fan was at the Tennessee game yesterday, took a picture of Andrew Fisher and did a post in the Ole Miss forum talking bad because he left and NIL money and all that stuff. And I was like, first of all, man, ripping down the kid. But I said, second, if you're a hypocrite because you got at least 15 guys that I know on your team that came there and transferred and got paid. So I guess you don't like them either. You can't. It's a business, man. And I know for a fact I can't put his numbers out there, but he got paid a lot of money to go to Tennessee, and he's on the number 1 ranked team. So to me, it don't seem like a very bad choice.
No,
not at all. All right, let's jump into question 2. Would you rather attend the party or host the party?
Attended. Hosting, you got to clean up. Not for me. Stuff breaking and no sir.
No, I agree. Like and we had the same answer from someone the other night, and I was just like, it really depends on who you're inviting to your party. Where exactly that hosting part.
Dylan Lloyd last episode said he wanted to host his own.
Yeah. Ooh. And I told him I know the crew he hangs out with. Ain't no way I'm hosting that party.
Absolutely not.
Would you rather have no money or no internet?
Oh wow. Gotta go no internet. I gotta have some money to eat on, Gotta go no internet. Be a lonely world.
Gotta be able to go to Mary Lou's Biscuit Bar.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Gotta have some Mary Lou's in a good old rainstorm.
Well, and see, he's an outdoorsman though, so he doesn't necessarily need internet. Some guys, I mean, in their spare time, the thing that they're doing is either watching movies or playing Call of Duty. So like that's their life. For him, he just grabbed the gun and go out.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. I don't even own a PlayStation. It's kind of sad nowadays, but I don't.
Let MLB The Show, man. Come on.
I know it.
But I'm sure you're probably only a room, a short walk away from a console.
Oh yeah, I mean right next door behind me, and then 2 downstairs. So.
Yeah. See. Let's get into the tougher questions. All right, uniforms. You can only pick one for the rest of the year: pinstripes or your black and golds.
Gotta go black and golds, especially the golds. I think I'd go golds.
Golds.
I don't agree, man. Those pinstripes are nice.
Those pinstripes are nice, but I think golds just scream Southern Miss back here. So, but those pinstripes are nice.
All right. What about pinstripes or black? Like if you had the option, like what?
Can't mix them, can I? Can't go black on pinstripes. So,
I mean, I guess you could.
I'd probably go pinstripes over black.
All right.
I like the pins.
I like the stripes. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good kit altogether. You like when you actually have to think about it. You got 3-4 uniforms. Because obviously we talked about the camp, Shelby. So you got 4 elite uniforms just right there.
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
I'm a fan of anybody that goes outside of the box and goes black because there's some schools, not to name them, that just don't like black uniforms.
If
And it's just
LSU would have
silly.
wore black to Hattiesburg in 2022, we would have won. I'm just saying.
You know,
Dude, it's so damn hot in Hattiesburg. Can we be clear? Let me tell you something. I've been covering baseball for 5 years. I was never hotter than Hattiesburg Regional.
It's brutal. Good grief, man. It's hot.
hey,
Gosh, it's brutal.
your boy Paul Maneri goes to South Carolina and got black uniforms on a weekly basis. Couldn't buy a black uniform at LSU.
You shouldn't have brought up Paul Maneri. I don't know if you saw him in that video yesterday. He tripped and fell right in front of everybody.
Poor Paul.
Man.
I mean, hey,
he was running out to argue the call, and then he just tripped over the bat and fell. And I was like,
he had to turn around, huh? He didn't keep going.
He's a Hall of Famer, so he can get away with it. But man, it's a tough look.
So what do you do there? Like,
he got up and still argued the call. I mean, he still had something to say.
If you're going to argue, you've lost all credibility in your argument. If that happens, you might as well just turn around and go on back and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna let you have this one.
I'm convinced at this point, though, because obviously I was at Tennessee, Florida this past weekend. Both times that Tony V or Sully were arguing, it was over nothing. I think they just love the theatrics at the end of the day, because they're arguing nonsense calls that aren't going to change.
Yeah, not at all, and they know it. It's just part of it's the theater of it. Yep. Let me ask you this, Colby. Do you think the other team, like let's say it's save time and you're sprinting out of the bullpen, jogging, and you come across where the outfield meets the infield and you trip and you fall? Do you think
all credibility of having confidence and scaring the other team or something?
Correct. I feel like the head guy is definitely losing the credibility. I mean, if he's not a college baseball Hall of Famer, he probably
how I'm gonna find out about this, right?
Really bad.
Daniel, I'm gonna send a text when we get off here to a certain player that we know will tell us from that dugout. I gotta know what the talk was.
Oh, it's probably they probably joke about it on the side, but at the end of the season, they're going to joke about it in front of him, and it's going to be funny then. Maybe not so much now, but they need to win some games in this conference before
they got a tough one ahead, so we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a tough road. Would you rather strike someone out with a fastball or off speed?
I like a good heater in. I like a fastball into a lefty. That's probably one of my favorites.
There's nothing better.
Just sit there and look at it and look at the umpire, and then that's usually about what it is.
There's nothing better than being able to back someone off the plate, like a two-seamer that runs back in and moves them off the plate, and it's just right there. That's a beautiful pitch. I love that.
I love it.
All right, pick them. LSU or Texas this weekend? Who you got?
Where's it at?
Texas?
At Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going with Texas. Especially sweeping Mississippi State at Texas.
Hey, all right. What about?
He ain't bothering me.
What about Tennessee travels to Alabama? Tennessee just lost their first game last night to East Tennessee.
Alabama's pretty tough
last night too.
I'm just saying,
Daniel, after we did our breakdown, we had 2 more top 10 losses because Florida State and Texas dropped.
Man, they
midweek madness at its finest.
These teams are smarting it up. You're going with Bama?
I'm going to go with Bama. I got Bryce Fowler's one of my boys on Bama. I got a couple other guys on there.
Man, he's going to be wrong twice. That's wild.
Yep.
Wow. I mean,
I'm going with Bama.
I'm going to Thursday night's game with Liam Doyle pitching. I'm real interested to see I've been watching on the Alabama social media. They're trying to make sure every seat is packed. I'm excited for this. It's probably obviously tough because Alabama basketball is the number 1 seed, and the madness kicks off Thursday. But it'll be cool to see. Hopefully they can get it packed out. I'll be there. Hopefully it's a good environment and a good game.
You think this is the best start Alabama baseball's ever had? It's got to be, right?
I think it's up there. It's got to be up there for sure.
I mean, it's probably the best. I mean, honestly, it might be the best start that Tennessee baseball's ever had.
Well, I'll tell you, Daniel, the biggest thing I would say is this is one of the biggest rises I've ever seen in a ranking. This is an unranked team all the way up to 12.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we had one. We had one. Yeah, I was going to say we had one go the opposite direction. Oh, all right. Last question: concert or sporting event? We're not talking about like the old Mary Lou like acoustic set. We're talking about like bucket list concert, bucket list sporting event. What would you choose?
I would love a good, probably gonna think I'm a country hick for this, but a good George Strait, Brooks and Dunn concert sold out would be unbelievable.
Ain't nothing better than some Neon Moon.
I mean,
I'm gonna give you the opposite side of that. Let me tell you why I don't think you're a hick, but also tell me why you're wrong. I've seen George Strait like 17 times and sold out everywhere. And give me the best sporting event all day. But I'll tell you the concert that I wish I went to, I was invited to, and we've talked to it about a couple times on here. Just this past year when Garth Brooks did Death Valley and was packed out.
I bet that was
100,000 people. Like, I wish I would have been there for that. Like a football stadium packed for a country concert, just as elite.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But no, George is the king, man. And there's a reason those concerts were all growing up. My parents were the biggest fans.
Yep.
And it really wasn't even about country music for me. It was about girls. And so I always wanted to go.
There's nothing wrong
7
with
to
that
1 ratio at country concerts at that time. It's probably even bigger now, but 7 girls to 1 guy, you don't have to sell me on much.
Very true. Very true. All right, Colby, anything you want to plug or promote before you bounce out of here, man?
I'm good, guys. I just appreciate it. Appreciate y'all reaching out.
We're gonna find out about these granola bars, Daniel. Like, usually we try to help guys out. Like, there is absolutely no reason why he shouldn't have some sort of setup.
Yeah, he's got to have something.
Seeds and granola bars, boy.
That's a pretty good mixture right there. Seeds early in the game, granola bar late.
That's right. All right, big Sun Belt matchup this weekend. You guys are traveling to Monroe, Louisiana Monroe, Friday night, 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, Saturday, 2 p.m. ESPN Plus, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock ESPN Plus. It's going to be a big matchup. Hopefully you guys can just continue the trend, keep winning games, and keep doing what you do. But Colby, we appreciate you joining us. And if there's anything we can do for you along the way, brother, let us know. But as always, have a safe, happy, successful, injury-free season, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
Right. That is Colby Allen, everybody. Jim, another great episode, good interview with Colby. I'm interested now.
That was fun. We went off script a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested now in Southern Miss. Like he's got me buying into what they can do. And not that I was hesitant about how good they could be, but like we've seen them on the cusp, for so many years.
The problem, and they did get the host, and that having that Tennessee team come in was just a tough draw. But we'll see when it comes to, we're talking about Coastal, we were talking about DBU. The committee's only going to give one of those guys a host, and I say that because it's going to be real hard for any of these guys to go on the road into more than likely one of these SEC or ACC teams and win. So it's definitely a battle for who's going to be that one team. But I definitely think if they're not a host, Daniel, we talk about the Tennessee regional last year. Well, that Southern Miss wasn't this Southern Miss team. If you are any of the SEC teams, that's the last number 2 that you want to see.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like playing a Virginia or a North Carolina State or a team that is just very scrappy. They're gonna give you everything they got. They're not gonna make it easy on you. And if you win, you had to earn it.
Entertainment and would appease to the South is if Ole Miss does end up being a regional host and you put Southern Miss in it. That's electric.
I mean, we're talking about record-breaking crowds, brother. Let's go. Pick 'em. All right.
This first one out the gate is so hard.
Is it?
Yes, because I don't want to give up on them, man. I just don't.
I mean, all right. So let's throw it out there. All right, Texas A&M at Vandy. Now, over the past 2 weeks, we've slowly given a lot
Ryan
of
Prager
our.
still pitches on Friday.
I hear you, but they got to win. Let's be real. They need to win all 3, and that's not going to happen. If it did, I would be shocked. But okay, they win 1. All right, get some momentum. They win Friday night or with Prager or tomorrow night. I'm not sure when they open, but if they win, they get some momentum. But
they open on Thursday.
But like we've seen it week after week. If that guy's not on the mound, they're not very good. And slowly over the past few weeks, and I'm getting to the point in a long, winded version, is over the past few weeks, we've gotten to this spot where we are okay with the just going, all right, they're just not as good. Grahovic not playing is impactful. They got one guy that's doing his thing,
I
and
need
the
to
rest.
look and see if Caden Sorrell's coming back at all, or if that's.
I mean, they gotta hope so. I mean, I've never, we joked about it, on the interview, but I've never seen like a team go from where they were to this so quickly. And like, I don't know if there's one reason. Like, can you put a finger? Like, I'd like to say that Gavin being hurt isn't the one thing.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the clip. They still were unlucky last night. 17. Did you see the kid rob the grand slam flying over the wall? My Lord, they just odds against them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Who you got? Come on. Who you got?
Texas A&M.
All right, take them. I'm gonna take Vandy. I think that is the smart move there. Vandy's at home. It's a funny place to play, and I think Vandy is a little bit better than what we thought they were going into the season.
I know with Vandy going 1-2 and A&M going 0-3, whoever does lose this series is going to be in real trouble.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing though too. Like you could say that for a number of teams this weekend. If they don't win a series, like it's going to be bad.
Yeah, we're going to get to the other one in a minute. There's a couple teams that their backs against the wall way earlier than they ever expected.
Yeah. Tennessee, Alabama. You're headed over to Huntsville or Tuscaloosa tomorrow night to check out our guys, IOTB guys. So you're looking at 2 teams.
Question before you analytically break this down. How many guests do we have on Alabama?
Now playing?
Yeah.
3.
No, we have 0.
0?
We have 16 at Tennessee. So there's not even talk about here, Daniel.
I was taking a guess.
No, we have the assistant coach Garrett Woods a guess. That's it.
Wow. Man, that shows you how many people we've interviewed, because I would have thought for sure we've had Alabama.
Well, the transfer portal too, and you never know. Like a guy we had from somewhere is at Alabama now. Now Zane Denton was actually the only Alabama baseball guest we've ever had, and he didn't even stay there. He went to Tennessee.
True. Now, okay, let's talk about this. So you're taking Tennessee just on the sheer fact that numbers on the podcast we've had more.
No, I'll honestly take them because not only do I believe in their hitting, but Dylan Loy and Nate Snead are on the back end. The one thing that they may have in their favor, Daniel, the report came out today. Gavin Keelan, questionable.
What's going on with Gavin? Did he actually catch fire physically because he's been so hot?
Somebody said on his last AB last night they saw him roll his ankle. But if that is all it is, if there's anything we know, it's not like he's playing basketball running up and down the court. He'll get that bad boy taped up. And if anything, just hit a home run so you don't have to run fast.
Just him being in the lineup like makes you pitch differently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you pitch around him, like obviously if he's got a bum ankle, the last thing you want to do is put him on the bases to run a little bit. But
I imagine
the last thing I want to do is throw him a pitch.
Yeah, I imagine that it would be Bargo that would get that starting job, which I'm perfectly okay with. He's not Gavin Keelan, obviously, but I love my man Bargo.
Yeah, so for me, I think Tennessee's coming in a little bit fired up, for 2 reasons. It's a conference matchup. It's a team who I think Tennessee looks at Alabama in a sense like you're not as good as us, and your record makes you, Alabama, think you're better than you are. And we're going to come in here and show you why we're the number one team in the country and why we were the number one team to end the season last year and why we have a national championship and why we are the favorite to win another. So I'm taking Tennessee for those reasons.
I'm taking clean sweep, by the way. Marcus, last time I checked, Marcus Phillips pitches on Saturday too, or Friday, should I say? And then you know, Tony's been having fun on Sundays, but I don't think he's gonna mess around on this one.
I think he's gonna go after the wins, especially on Sunday, because last night you heard me, 9 pitchers, almost an inning apiece, and yes, it wasn't the outcome that they had hoped, but they were basically playing around. They were getting guys work.
Well, the guy who struggled, I think, probably needed it. The young Combs brother in his first struggle. You're going to need those as a freshman. You need to have that, you know, adversity, and you know we talk about it all the time. So he's only going to bounce back and be stronger. It's early in his career.
Yeah, if I had to guess, similar to the way I predicted it last week when I was wrong, I think Tennessee takes the first 2 and then loses on Sunday. So I do think they're going to win the series, but I don't think they're going to sweep them. But is Alabama better than Florida?
No,
you don't think so? I don't think so
we'll,
either.
We'll get to Florida.
We'll
get to Florida in a second. We're going to have to talk about AC. When you talk about 2 highest ranked teams, I believe this next one is it, and it's an ACC. I mean, obviously with LSU, Texas, and their rankings, and obviously with Tennessee, Alabama. But I think when you take 2 highest, I think it's actually Wake Forest, Clemson.
Yeah,
They're 7 and 11.
Ooh. Yep, that's it. But if this was depending on how this week goes,
I mean, I guess it's basically 1 and 12 and 7 and 11. It's just it's either way. This is the match to me. This is the premier matchup of the entire season for the ACC.
I think this matchup is going to let us know 2 things. One is Wake Forest in that upper tier of the ACC, because there are people out there that want to believe that, yes, they are, but there's also people that are not giving them a whole lot of credit. And I talked to you about this the other day, is that I think we're sleeping, and a lot of people are sleeping on Wake that's just low-key good. And I had this epiphany, and I told you about them being in the College World Series this year. And for that to happen, they have to go in and take care of business against Clemson. And on the flip side, Clemson this weekend has to show people, yeah, they're for real. Like, there's a lot of people with a lot of stock.
They definitely like playing at home. Clemson has a great atmosphere, great fan base. So I expect it to be electric. And I told you, because I was there last year when Clemson went to Wake Forest, and Wake Forest swept them out while they ranked high. So any guy who was on that team, you know, Cam Camarella being one of them, they're going to be looking for some major get back this weekend.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to take – man. Oh,
yeah,
so I at the beginning of the season, I said I believe Clemson is going to be that team from the ACC that gets in.
They were in my Omaha 8 picks, so I'm with you.
And so in order for that to really stay true and hold weight, then I've got to go Clemson. So I'm going to go Clemson, but I don't think it's going to be easy for them.
Daniel, let me ask you a question. How many IOTB guests are on Clemson?
0. That's my guess.
How many are on Wake Forest?
A bunch. 5.
6.
2. 6.
And with that being said, give me Clemson.
There you go. Houston. Sorry, brother. Sorry.
Hey, I'll take you wrong. If it's Houston and Conrad bombs, by all means, I'll be wrong.
Hey, it is what it is. We got to make picks, and this isn't easy. This isn't easy work, everybody. This is tough work. All right. This is real.
If there's one that I'm really going on, it's this next one. I mean, these slate of games, this next one.
Georgia, Florida. Let's go into it. Tell me what you got. Tell me how you.
So Florida's bullpen was the problem. Their starters, all 3 games, were fantastic. I mean, every game was tight through the first 5. So I know what their problem is. And then I believe they do have good hitting. I do believe that, we talk about Marcus Phillips and we talk about Liam Doyle. So I think Florida right now may be looked at as not very good. And I think they actually still are good. And with Georgia, they're a team where they're getting a lot of hype. But if you look, I mean, they're not just like winning games like the other team. They're giving up a lot of runs. They're having to score a lot of runs. And you're going to Florida, right? So everybody's just all on Georgia. But I don't know that, Georgia's really the favorite in this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of how often does Florida get just destroyed by a team and then turn around and get destroyed again? Like, I just don't foresee that happening.
And I'd
They
have to look
are
at their
playing
home
at home.
record over the last few years, but if I just remember in my mind from series, I don't remember them really losing at home much.
I just know if it's not Tuesday, Wednesday, they don't typically they usually lose those games.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pick first on this one, and I'm going to be very direct about this. I think Florida's going to win, but on the premise that I have always not liked Florida, and we have a lot of guests on Georgia, I'm going to go Georgia, and I don't even believe my pick. So there it is.
I'm going to go Florida for the reason being that they need to bounce back. If they want to have credibility, they can't go out and get just mollywopped one weekend by Tennessee and then turn around and lose a series to Georgia.
Well, here was where I was talking.
Seriously.
Here was where I was talking about the team that couldn't afford it. Florida can't afford it more than any because I don't know their entire schedule. I remember when I was going through it, they had one of the hardest, but I do know for fact they go to Ole Miss and Arkansas. So,
they need this. So, Arizona, West Virginia. This
is sneaky good because Arizona, a preseason top 25 team, our poll theirs has since that opening weekend and one other loss has completely bounced back, has had some good wins, and really, only 4 losses and right on the cusp of being back in the top 25. And you got West Virginia, who's trying to prove that, they're obviously in ours, but they're not in everybody's, that they are a top 25 team and they're for real. So really, this is the battle of two teams who are trying to solidify that they are a good team.
Yeah, I look at this and I go, okay, so this is the matchup where you're going to tell me who you are. Is Arizona and West Virginia exactly at the beginning of the season who we thought they were? Or is Arizona more like the team that we think can host a regional or a team that can have a, postseason push? Is West Virginia the team that we think could be an upper echelon top 25 team at 18-1 right now?
Really good. They've got to be feeling good. Like they've got to be at a point where, normally you'd have an Arizona team with that ranking again, and maybe they would be a little more worried. But I feel like West Virginia is ready for this team to come. I mean, they've got to be in sync right now.
I told you 2 weeks ago we need to put West Virginia on the radar, and we're
not ready to take them out.
And I am not. I'm still high on the Mountaineers. So give me West Virginia, and give me West Virginia 3 games in a row.
Wow. I'm not going to say 3 games at all, but give me West Virginia. I like that they're at home. I don't like changing them, taking them out of my top 25 after I just put them in. So we'll leave them there.
All right. Your boys traveling to Austin, take on the Longhorns. I think this is a sneaky good matchup. I don't know how LSU feels about this. I mean, obviously, I think being the number 2 team in the country, like, you should feel good.
They had a sellout 4 midweek back-to-back years with Texas. It's, people definitely love to hate in those. It's not a big rivalry, but it's definitely one people get up for. With the excitement of Schloss and, the Texas program coming off a sweep of Mississippi State, and now having, number 2 come there, it's going to be absolutely electric. I expect that fan base is going to be crazy. And I'm bringing that up because the one thing that I'm just not sure of is outside of Cade Anderson, the starters, and so It's going to come down to, I think, us being able to outproduce them. Obviously, we have the number one hitting average in the country, so we know we can produce. We have a lot of elite guys. But I think they're going, in order for us to win, I think they're going to have to outscore simply because I don't think we're going to outpitch them. And I hate saying that, but I just haven't seen it. I told you about it. When people were having the argument about Tennessee LSU, the amount of runs we're giving up in a weekend compared to Tennessee is triple.
Well, let me tell you this. When we get ready to put together rankings at the end of this weekend, go ahead and get a graphic ready for Texas. They're moving up, baby. They are moving up. They are going to be one of the top 3 teams in the country at the end of this week.
Not on my top 25. You crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
even if they beat LSU. Because I don't think Arkansas is losing this weekend, and I don't think Florida State's losing, and I don't think Tennessee's losing, so they're at minimal behind them 3.
So if a Texas team theoretically sweeps an LSU team,
they would go behind the 3. They would go behind
that arguably could is right there with the
they
number
would
1.
Go behind the 3 that I just said. If Georgia beats Florida, they would still be ahead of them, and then the winner of Wake Forest Clemson. So the highest, theoretically, in this conversation, the highest they could be is 6.
But I don't think Georgia's going to beat Florida.
Okay, then 5. But I don't think Texas is going to beat LSU. Give me LSU. You've lost your mind.
Give me Texas. I'm not going to say they're going to sweep. But
you've picked Florida. You've picked Texas. You've picked Vandy. You've picked every team I don't like. Congratulations.
I'm so good at pick 'em.
Dude, you went 2 for 8 and I went 3 for 8. How do we have numerous different picks different last week and still both do so bad? That's wild.
That's college baseball for you, man. All right, last one. Coastal Carolina.
You told people not to take our picks for bets. As a matter of fact, this week, whatever we said, go opposite. You got it.
I see. I did say that too. But I will say this: you told me, you said the first couple weeks, let's not do it for bets. But after that, I'm warmed up. I'm ready. So like this would be that time.
But the thing is, we're so opposite on picks. Who are they gonna know who to take? We didn't give them any foundation of which person to go with because neither of us did good last week.
I mean, if you want to have fun and lose money, then and be invested in the game, then go with my picks because I'm 100% like I'm about a good time. But all right, Coastal and Troy. You've got the 15-5, 16-5, 24-25 ranked teams in the country. What's your take? I mean,
I think
are we looking at the same team theoretically?
I mean, Coastal has handled business everywhere. They've went on the road against big teams. Troy does have a couple marquee wins against Alabama and against Mississippi State. No, they lost to Alabama 5-4. That's right. No, they beat Mississippi State, but they definitely played them tough. There's a reason why I don't have Troy in our top 20. I think they're good. I don't think they're that good. I've been high on Coastal Carolina since before the season. They've proven me and you right at every turn. And so with that, I think Coastal Carolina keeps it rolling and goes on the road. I think it'll be a competitive series. I think Troy's a good team. So it'll be, and I don't even think it's a sweep. I think it'll be a 2-1, but I just really like this Coastal team. Bodine is one of the top hitters in the country, and their pitching staff. If you look, the team ERA, I think they're in the top 10.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Coastal, but I mean, when I look at this matchup, I think to myself, well, what does a series win other than winning a series? What does it really do nationally for either one of these two teams?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Like it really doesn't. This
is basically who you're going to knock out of the because D1's just sitting there waiting the loser to take out of their top 25 graphic.
I still think both of them will be in postseason play. I don't expect either one of them, honestly, to be a host site. So like this right here really it's just for S's and G's really, and like for bragging rights. I mean, we're getting the same team playing each other, and whoever wins, it's just like, oh, Great job. We'll
But
see you next week.
This would be a series that if we didn't have these other ones, and I know that's easy to say, I mean, I would more than love to sit down and watch this one.
I mean, but that is the problem with SEC is on any given weekend, you can have a really competitive, even like an Arizona, West Virginia. It's going to be hard to get that in when you're looking at A&M Vandy, trying to figure out where A&M is and what Vandy is. A Tennessee and Alabama, which is arguably one of the best matchups, of the week.
And that's why I was talking about this weekend in general. When you add in March Madness and the SEC championships and gymnastics, I don't have enough TVs. I could be inside Target with them all on, and I wouldn't have enough TVs.
I mean, you got to have TBS, you got to have True TV, you got to have Sci-Fi, you got to have Bravo, you got to have AMC.
I'm gonna put you to it, Daniel, because I know that you would have SEC gymnastics on one. We're going 3 TVs. Me and you're gonna have that. Listen, and we're gonna have March Madness on one. That's a no doubter. So third TV is your baseball TV. Which of these games? All 7. Let's say all 7 were on at the same time. You can only pick one. Where are you going?
I got to go LSU in Texas because I put a bold statement out there about that game. So
I'm obviously going to pick that one because it's my team. But let's take that off the table for me because that's too easy. I think Georgia, Florida, because I need to find out who's for real out of that too. It's funny you said that. That's exactly where I was going.
Well, then I pick a different one. I'm going to pick one that I know you're not going to pick. Vandy A&M.
Yeah, I'll check the highlights and box score and follow along and just hope that I'm right.
I'm shocked that you said Florida. Really, I thought you were going to say
Tennessee. I need to know, was Tennessee that good, and or was Florida maybe overrated, and that's why Tennessee own them.
But correct me if I'm wrong.
I still haven't figured out. We ranked Georgia in the top 6, and I picked them as an Omaha team, and I still don't know if they're actually that good. I need to know both.
Well, you're going to find out both of those things this weekend. The crazy thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Florida notorious for having slow starts and then they slowly start picking it up in conference play towards the end, like middle of the end of the conference?
Last year, nobody would have ever had them in Omaha.
Yeah, I don't I kind of could foresee them doing the same thing.
I'm trying to remember what region they came through because they weren't a host at all, obviously. Man, I don't know. I have to look back.
I don't know. It would have been a strange region because, I mean, you could probably look it up. It's probably easy.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's wrap this thing up. Obviously, some really, really good games this weekend. Going to be very telling for some teams. Some are going to move into the top 5 of IOTB. Some are going to move out of the top 25.
Let me tell you this. They were 36-30 last year, to your point. And they were in Omaha. So, yes, they definitely were a team that was not supposed to be there. But that's why we play the game, right? They went into Oklahoma State and took their regional and then went into Clemson and took theirs.
Wow.
So you said it though. So I mean, will it tell us anything if they don't win this weekend too? Last year 36-30, and they won those series. So you got to remember that means that basically would have put them under 500 at some point.
Yeah, they would have had to have been, and they probably were fighting for their lives. Honestly, I mean the whole. I would say the last 20 games of the season, they were probably in a dogfight with themselves, just trying to pick up W's.
That shows how much we pay attention to Florida. That we don't. We admittedly will say for anybody who's still watching this late in the show, we don't like Florida, so we weren't watching. Okay.
Yeah. But let's wrap this thing up. Obviously, another good week of college baseball is going to tell us a lot. Some teams, like I said, are moving into the top 25. Some are moving out. Some are going to be moving as far as 4 or 5 in our top 25. Man, it's going to be great.
And we'll have our last two players cut on Survivor before the merge. We're at 14. We're going to get 12, and that's going to be intense.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But, hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see everybody next week. Make sure you like and share the podcast on Facebook. retweet us on X, listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Head over to YouTube, click like, click subscribe, click notifications. That way you are one of the first to know when new content is dropped. And Jim, hey, have fun in Tuscaloosa. You're headed tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and for those, you told me this weekend, we didn't even talk about this personally. We'll talk about it to close this thing down. Daniel, no college baseball tonight for those looking on Friday and Saturday. I'm gonna wait for my man to get back. We're gonna do it together. It's a ride that we do. So we appreciate those who are following along with that. We'll get you a recap on the whole weekend. Do it together. I know some people will have already known what happened, but we'll have the highlights. We'll break it down, maybe take it a little extra than we normally do, maybe go an extra 5-10 minutes since we'll do it all together. But Daniel, enjoy your weekend, man. And everybody enjoy baseball, enjoy basketball, enjoy gymnastics, enjoy your family. It's going to be good.
It's a great weekend for sports. Sports wins this week. Every year this week, sports is the winner. So remember that. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.